Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. See the pictures? Yeah. Alright. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, there lived a king and queen. They lived in the most finest of palaces, which was surrounded by a very dark, dense, thick forest, which had a path winding through it. The king and queen were very happy together, but their lives were made complete by the birth of a daughter. They named the child Snow White, and she was beautiful. Her hair was black as coal, her skin as white as snow, and her cheeks were as red as roses. As Snow White gradually got older, she grew more beautiful, and it was soon clear to everyone's eyes that she was as beautiful as she was good, so much so that even the animals were her friends. But as Snow White grew older, her mother, who was ill, grew weaker. The king sought the help of the finest physicians in the land, but even they, with their great knowledge, were unable to help the queen, and eventually she died. The king, after many months of loneliness, decided to marry a beautiful princess. The new queen was indeed beautiful, but not as beautiful as Snow White. The queen, who was very vain, soon became angry and jealous of her stepdaughter, and as time passed by, she grew to despise her beauty. The queen had in her possession a very large wall mirror. This mirror was no ordinary mirror, but a magic mirror. The queen would gaze into the mirror each day and say the magic words, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror would always give the same answer, "O queen, you are the fairest of them all." But one day when the queen spoke the magic words, the mirror's reply was different. Oh, you turn the page, baby. "Oh, Snow White is the fairest in all the land." Oh, this the queen grew angry and smashed the mirror. The queen is a the queen is a temper in a temper sent for the king's footman. She ordered the footman to take Snow White deep into the heart of the forest and kill her, bringing back her heart as proof of her death. The footman, who loved Snow White dearly, was very distressed, for he could not harm her, but he dare not defy the queen's orders. Whilst taking Snow White into the forest, he thought of a plan which would mean he did not have to kill her. Instead, he let her wander off alone. But to satisfy the queen's demands, he killed a bear and cut its heart out and returned to the palace. The queen was once again happy in the belief that Snow White was dead. You like the pictures? Mm-hmm. Snow White went deeper and deeper into the forest, and along the way, fortunately for her, she came across her animal friends. But soon night began to draw slowly in, and the forest grew darker. Snow White became frightened, as she had never been in the forest when it was dark. Then, to her relief, she spotted a tiny clearing in the distance. As she drew near, she realized that it was a tiny cottage. She slowly walked up to the door, which was only a very small door, and knocked upon it. No answer. She knocked again, but still no answer. She began to wonder who might live there, if in fact anyone did. Snow White decided to try the door, and to her amazement, it opened. She slowly entered the tiny cottage and found that nobody was there. But she did find 7 little beds, and on the table, which had 7 little chairs around it, there were 7 mugs, knives, forks, and spoons. Snow White also noticed how untidy the little cottage was, and immediately set to work. With the help of her animal friends, she cleaned and tidied the cottage until it was bright and clean. It was now well past Snow White's bedtime, and she was feeling very tired. She climbed the stairs of the tiny cottage and soon fell fast asleep across 3 of the tiny beds. Meanwhile, the occupiers of the cottage were finishing their day of work in the mine. The mine was no ordinary mine, but a diamond mine, where they would work and toil each day. The day's work done, they set off on their way home, singing their favorite song along the way. Hi, baby. When they entered the cottage, they thought they had got the wrong one, as the place was very different from the way they had left it. It was now all clean and tidy. Then they discovered Snow White. Never before had they seen anyone so beautiful. At this time, Snow White awoke to find the 7 dwarfs, and it was not long before they were all friends. The queen, now thinking that Snow White was dead, went to her magic mirror and said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror replied, "Snow White is still far the fairest in the land." With this the queen burst into a rage and scolded the footman for disobeying her orders. The queen thought of a plan to get rid of Snow White. She decided to coat a comb with poison and put an end to her. This time she would ensure the task was carried out correctly, as she would do it herself. She spoke to her magic mirror and asked where the fairest of all the land could be found. The mirror told her of the little cottage deep in the heart of the forest where Snow White was living. Dressed as a gypsy, the wicked queen set out along the twisting path until she came upon the cottage. Knocking on the door, she placed the poisoned comb on top of a basket full of pretty ribbons. "But a pretty comb for your beautiful hair," said the wicked queen. "Oh, you are pretty, so very pretty, that I shall give you one of my combs," she said. "Thank you very much," said Snow White, placing the comb in her hair. With this, the queen went on her way happily. Make the dirty face. Oh no. Oh, and then you ate it. You're so nasty. You're nasty, baby. See the pictures? Snow White began to feel drowsy, and when the dwarves arrived back home, they found her stretched out unconscious on the floor. They removed the comb from her hair. You done? And gave her a drink of water, and very soon she recovered. Snow White told them how the gypsy had come by and given her the comb, after which she could remember very little. The dwarves were very worried about Snow White and told her that she must not accept any gifts from anyone who was a stranger, no matter how inviting the gift may be. The dwarves loved Snow White, who cooked and cleaned for them and who would tell them wonderful stories each night about the palace. They did not want any harm to come to her. This is a long one. The queen, having consulted her magic mirror, discovered to her dismay that Snow White was still alive. By this time she was so jealous of Snow White that she would have done anything to make certain that she was destroyed. I must get rid of her, thought the wicked queen. So she schemed up a plan, which she believed could not fail. She took several large red apples and coated a few of them with poison, and then arranged them prettily on top of some unpoisoned apples in a basket. Disguising herself once more, she set out into the forest in search of the little cottage. When she reached the cottage, she knocked upon the door as before. At first Snow White did not answer, so she knocked again. "What do you want?" asked Snow White. "I have some lovely red apples for sale. Please buy some," replied the wicked queen. "I am sorry, I cannot buy any today, and I have promised not to open the door to anyone. But I am only an old woman who must peddle her wares to feed her family. Please open the door and take a look at some of my apples. I am sure you would like to buy some." Oh, did I turn the page? Snow White slowly opened the door to the old woman, but did not recognize her as the gypsy who passed by the cottage with the combs, or as her wicked stepmother. The apples were very appetizing to look at, but Snow White still refused. Eventually the wicked queen persuaded Snow White to taste the apples, which of course made her collapse upon the floor. The wicked queen rejoiced. When the dwarves arrived home from work, they were distressed to find Snow White lying on the floor, pale and motionless. They tried everything they could. They tried everything they could think of to revive her, but nothing seemed to work. They searched the house for some sign which would tell them what the cause of her death was, but they found nothing. They never suspected the apples that lay close by Snow White. The dwarves were so upset that they began to cry and swore to revenge the death of their beautiful friend. Alright, baby, we're gonna have to pick this up later. We got other stuff to do.